the secrets of the universe.
Unlocking the secrets of the universe.
Oh no, I think I've lost my mind. I think I've lost it all. Oh no, I think I've lost my mind. I think I've lost control.
Have you lost control? And welcome. I am your host, Johnny Walker, and today I am with Joshua David. How you doing, bud?
How you doing? What's up?
I'm doing good. How's life treating you?
Pretty good. My shoulder's a little sore, but other than that, I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm still
Thank you.
having those bathroom issues. I have to run every fucking 5 minutes.
That's right.
But besides that, I'm doing good. Had my class
freaky-
today. Don't want to mention any names or anything, but I'm pretty cool in that class.
Pretty cool. We got some Freaky Friday crap going on right here. What? That was out of nowhere.
Just like the chair shots to John Cena this today on Sunday.
Someone's had too much coffee or something.
No.
Are we actually live?
Yeah. Yes, Joshua, we are actually live right now. This is going out to the world.
Yay. If they didn't think we were weird before, now go and give them proof.
Oh, yeah.
So, what's up? What's up for real?
What's up for real?
Yeah. For real?
I was doing pretty good all day up until like this moment at work. I feel like I wanted to severely hurt people, but I had to tell my soul to shut up.
Yeah, like step down, mister.
Yeah,
I'm in charge here.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I heard that some ladies were like kind of pointing towards acting like you were harassing them or something, like staring them down and trying to check them out or stuff. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy because I was just walking to the bathroom. I was minding my own business, and I look up to make sure I didn't run into the one lady, and I walked between her and another guy that just came out the lunchroom. And of course, they don't say nothing to me while I'm there.
Yep.
They wait until I'm almost into the restroom, and they're already around the corner, and they're going to say, like, who was he looking at? I wasn't looking at none of y'all.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, people just try to get out of your skin. People are unhappy, man. People in this world are really, really unhappy.
Oh, yeah.
And it's because, we've been sitting under the narrative. Even people that ain't in the church and hear a narrative like that, society as a whole, all the systems of this world are evil.
Everything in this world, man, let me tell you, man. Everything in this world, they're always trying to pull somebody down.
Yeah.
Always.
Well, you look
There's
at
they're always looking for someone to blame. They're always looking for them to be right and somebody else to be wrong. Them to be high and lifted up, you to be low and a peasant.
Yeah. Well, you got
and
Kobe Bryant.
Like I told you when I got home, I hate this place with a passion.
Yeah, I have no attachment to this world. None.
I mean,
that's why
trying to go to the
restroom,
and like my shoulder's hurting. I got my head down. I'm not looking at, like in front of me, because it hurts less when I have my head like kind of tilted down. And then I get accused of stuff I never did.
So it is, man. Talking about people wanting to tear people down. You know, we had the death of Kobe Bryant, and everybody wanted to worship him. Like when he passed away, listen, it sucks. It's really too bad.
It's still going on.
It wasn't too bad. It wasn't just the fact that he died. There were several people in that plane or the helicopter that died.
They wasn't famous.
But everybody, but real quick, everybody wants to praise Kobe Bryant, and the very next day, what's on YouTube's front page, and what are people sending around on Twitter and Facebook and stuff? Brother Jeremy was telling me about this today, that even like his son's girlfriend posted the stuff about the very next day about the sexual assault allegations he had years and years ago.
Yeah.
They can't even lift you. You start lifting him up for a day, and then people start wanting to tear him down the next.
Well, not only that, you're never going to get away from your past in this life.
Sure. And I ain't defending whether he did what he did back then or not. That's not
I'm going to tell you right now, I forgive him.
To be.
Whether he done it or didn't do it, it's forgiven.
Sure.
Why? Because I forgave it. Now, it's done.
That's right. Right. So, but the thing is it seemed weird. Like the very next day, you can't even let him get put in the grave. And you want to bring up stuff from the back of the past. It's just silly stuff, man. It's silly. You know, that family just lost.
Because the soul always wants to feel like it's more righteous than some other soul.
Exactly. So it's just that's the state of the world. We ain't like the church saying, you know, it's just going to keep getting worse. It's just going to keep getting worse. Listen, I wouldn't be doing that if I thought the world was going to keep. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if I thought the world was going to keep getting worse. If people gotta stand up and speak the truth, and we speak life, right? We speak love. This place will get better,
right?
And that's what we're trying to do. So, yeah.
So I wanted to give out a shout out to our new subscriber because he asked some questions, so that's why I'm giving him a shout out.
Yeah.
Anytime a new subscriber gives some questions, we're going to give him a shout out.
Or anybody comments, we'll give you a shout out. Absolutely.
And this is from Realm Realist. He says, I come from a long line of atheists, and I am the first to embrace Christ. I have been saved by Christ and am, in quotations, born again, so to say. It took me some time to acknowledge in my heart that this was indeed Christ working and not some kind of other enlightenment. Although I am still learning a lot about, in quotations, Christianity and what it actually is, it is also quite obvious that Christians have a hard time understanding Christ.
Oh, don't they?
I would agree. A lot of people have very differing opinions about the Bible, so I'm just here to hear your side of it. Veils have to be lifted to understand the Bible completely. This can't be forced, but one must be open enough to see it.
Right.
Always. Anyways, thanks for your work on making these videos, and I wish you and your channel the best. Peace.
Isn't that awesome, dude? Joshua read that to me earlier today, and how exciting. I was super stoked to hear that. Coming from a long line of atheists and finding the Christ Spirit, that's awesome stuff. And we just want to encourage you to keep seeking, seek the kingdom, and everything that you ever need in your life will be added to you. That's a promise.
Yeah, and all those things are already inside of you.
That's right. You'll start remembering all of it.
We do have a lot of things that are definitely drastically different than the church.
Yeah.
And why, when we mean the church, we're talking about Christianity itself. I would say that we on this channel are not Christians. That might shock you a little bit.
I don't consider myself one, that's for sure either.
We follow the divine truth within us.
Yep.
That the Bible does speak about, but it's not the only place that it speaks about those same things.
Mm-hmm.
The problem that we see with Christianity or the church is that they're not in the kingdom at all. And if they're not in the kingdom, they can't decipher the book.
Yeah.
They cannot rightly divide it because there's no truth in them, like Jesus told the Pharisees.
Yeah.
The first thing Jesus told you to do was seek the kingdom. Yet the church tells you to go down and say a prayer at an altar to get saved.
Yep.
Two different ideas.
Yep.
Jesus says you had to be born again, literally born again. And we have videos talking about that. So if you keep watching our videos, especially if you start from the beginning and go up like you're doing, you will follow the progression that we took over the last 10 months to come to the same conclusions about what we believe.
Also, Jesus said the kingdom is at hand. He said the kingdom is within you. And they're waiting for a rapture to get into the kingdom.
They're waiting for something in the future. That's
how Josh said that they're not even in the kingdom because they think it's coming in the future.
Yeah, and
if they would go in the kingdom, they would see the truth like we're talking about.
And we're going to show tonight in this Courts Now in Session why Jesus said that, what we just said. We're going to show you where the judgment had already taken place. Like, that's why the court is in session. It's already happening right now, today. And it started thousands of years ago.
Yep.
So, we don't want to discourage you. We want you to enter the kingdom. We could care less about your beliefs in a book, in a doctrine, in a narrative. We want you to find the truths that are within you and the things that resonate with you and bring those things out. That's what we're here for, to tell you our truths. So hopefully it triggers a memory that's in you and brings out the truth in you.
Yeah.
And with that means we haven't done anything.
No.
It was already in you.
We just talk here about our truth. We say this all the time. This is just our truth. And the stuff the Father of love within us in the kingdom
has revealed to us.
Has showed us. And it within you, in the kingdom within you, where your Father is where all your truth is also.
Exactly. He posted another video on Paul, the one where it says Paul tells you in his own words. I believe it was part 4. Yeah. Paul tells you in his own words he deceived you. Okay. And this is going to tie into the whole thing about the veil. It makes me wonder why the gospel according to Paul is in the Bible anyways? ? Is it because the scriptures are indeed corrupt, or is it another veil put there by the Father to teach us about the world? Both, and then neither, and something totally different. There are parts of the whole Bible that are corrupt, and that's why it takes you being in the kingdom to be able to see and be able to rightly divide what's there. If you're not in the kingdom fully, you're only getting what's in part, like Paul said. You see in part, you prophesy, you speak in tongues, you have faith, you have all these other things that are in part. But when you come into complete love, the fullness, you no longer see in part, you see full. And you see everything clearly, which the church doesn't see because they're still doing all those other things, like Paul said. But Paul himself has some major issues, and some of those issues, the major discrepancies in what Paul was saying was that everything he's taught, for the most part, went against what Jesus spoke. So you can't have, Jesus telling us we're free and Paul telling us we're slaves and that we're slaves to the Lord. No, we're not. We're free. We're divine. We're sovereign.
Mm-hmm.
about the veil, and you said this earlier. You, unless you're in the kingdom, you're seeing through the veil, plain and simple. Now, the closer you get to the kingdom, and we talk about this extensively in other videos. So, please keep watching the other videos in the succession that they happen, and you'll go through all the stuff that we've went through the last 10 months. But if you're not in the kingdom, you're seeing only in part, and the more your soul decreases and the love in you increases, the more you're going to see. It's still in part. Yeah. You're going to see more of it. You're going to get more things out of what you're looking at, not just in the word, like everywhere, but you're still in part. Once you enter the kingdom, you're no longer in part. You're full. You're complete.
Yeah.
There's no longer in part. Anything you want to add, John?
No, I think you covered it really well. Once you come into the kingdom, that veil is ripped. It's removed. And it's like, the scales are taken off your eyes and you can see clearly.
Right. Okay, so we talked about the veil and we talked about the scriptures being corrupt. Yes. But here's the great thing about being in the kingdom. This is what I said. It's neither but both and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Even in those things that are corrupted, you can find truth within them.
Sure.
But you have to be in the kingdom. And if it's anything of the church narrative, it's wrong. It's a lie.
Yeah.
And it's a wrong and a lie from the point of view of seeing things the way it's supposed to be seen from within the kingdom.
Well, if it's law, if it's a law, a rule, or something they want you adhere to, that's wrong, right?
Well,
if
their narrative is wrong about the whole situation, and it's wrong. It's wrong, and this is what I want to, like the point I was trying to make. It's wrong from the point of being in the kingdom.
Right.
When you're not in the kingdom, everything they say is true because it's referring to a God that's external from you.
Right.
When you're in the kingdom, God isn't external from you. He's always been inside of you. He's the love that's inside of you. He's the Father within you that you've always had.
Yep.
And then knowing that makes their narrative wrong. Yeah. Now, to them, it's still true. And it's still true when it's referring to, and if you take it in the context of referring it to Yahweh, it's still right about him. But it's wrong because you now know that Yahweh isn't the Father. You know who the Father is. So from you being in the kingdom, you know that it's wrong.
Yeah, and you'll know that Yahweh, the God of the Old Testament that's seen all over the Old Testament, destroying people and killing people and being wrathful and jealous, is just like Jesus told the Pharisees when he said, your father is the devil.
Exactly.
So if there's stuff that the church narrative is doing that keeps you under bondage of the law of either the old covenant in the Old Testament or the New Covenant that Paul talks about, and that you have to obey any kind of rules that takes away from your sovereignty and your freedom, that's not from the love. That's not from the Father within you.
Now, when we're saying this freedom thing, this can be a hard concept for people not in the kingdom to understand, or people not even on their way to the kingdom. It's hard for them to understand what that means. When you're in love, you're not going to cheat on someone, right?
No.
When you're in love, you're not going to murder the person you love.
No.
When you're truly in love, you're going to act and do things of love. Now, does that mean, since we're in this realm and in this body that we're quote unquote perfect, the love inside of us is?
Yes, always has been, always will be.
This thing we're inside of isn't. It's corrupted by the soul.
Unredeemable. Yeah.
Unredeemable. This is why you're going to die. Plain and simple. And the sooner you deal with your death and get over the fear of it, the faster you can come into the kingdom.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to happen. And it kind of goes along with what we're going to be talking about tonight anyway. So I'm ready to start if you're ready to start, John. If you got anything else left to say, go ahead.
No, man, you were nailing it all pretty well. Just like to thank you for the subscription, and we hope that you
definitely
receive all the truths the Father wants for you. Take it away, Joshua.
All right, I guess we're going to start here in John 3:17, and hopefully I can remember everything, but whatever.
What comes out is what's supposed to come out.
I know. So for God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but to save the world through him. Whoever believes in him is not condemned, but whoever does not believe stands condemned already. When are you judged, John? You're already judged.
Mm-hmm.
You're already judged.
That's what it says.
Because they do not believe in the name of God's one and only Son. What is that verdict? Oh, here's the verdict. If they're already judged, there got to be a verdict.
Yep.
How are they judged? What is the verdict? The light has come into the world, but people love darkness instead of the light because of their deeds were evil.
That's right.
And we're going to click on the word deeds here. Oh, it's the word work.
Or their fruits.
Their fruits.
Yep.
Inner desire, intention, purpose. Imagine that.
The things of their soul.
The things of the soul. The things that are not good. The things are not joy, peace, long suffering.
In other words, they wasn't in the kingdom. They were living through the soul, and
they wasn't in love.
Probably the church narrative. So the fruits that they are showing, because we're known by our fruits, the fruits and the works that they have shown were not good. They were evil, and they knew it.
They did not love the light, the truth. They loved the darkness. That's the verdict.
Yeah.
So they've already been judged, and the verdict of that judgment is this. They don't want the light. They don't want the truth. Anyone who does evil hates the light.
Yep.
And will not come into the light for fear of their deeds or their works will be exposed.
Right.
Same word again for deeds. Ergon. Inner desires. Their inner desires, the one they got from that soul.
Yep.
Right? But whoever lives by the truth comes into the light, so that it may be seen plainly that what they have done has been done in the sight of God, or Theos.
Right.
That's the verdict.
And real quick, Josh, just so you know, the Father of love is not the one judging. They've judged themselves by not entering in the kingdom. It's just like when the word says that when you judge another, you're going to reap the same judgment.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
They've been condemned. They've condemned themselves due to not wanting to walk into the light because they knew their works or their fruits were evil.
Right, and they didn't want them to be exposed.
Exactly.
So, we have people in this life that has already been judged and condemned. It's already happened.
Self-condemned. Yep.
And the reason why it's already happened is because this world has already been condemned.
Mm-hmm.
They've already been judged.
Oh, well, Josh, that's not supposed to happen till Revelations.
Really?
Jesus is supposed to come back first, Joshua.
Well, Jesus
in the
did.
Clouds up in the sky.
Jesus already did come.
Yep.
So now we're going to get into some other scriptures referring to the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which one we're going to go to? Here you go. This is John 16:11. And about judgment, because the prince of this world now stands condemned. He's already judged.
Yep.
The prince of this world now stands condemned.
The devil or Yahweh. Yep.
Imagine that. This is John 12:31. Now is the time for judgment of this world. Now is the time for judgment on this world.
You mean not 2,000 years later?
Nope.
Right then?
Right then.
Wow. Imagine that.
Now the prince of this world has been cast out.
You mean the devil
or will be cast out? He's cast out.
Yeah. That sounds familiar. That's somewhere else in the Bible.
Yes. It's down here in Revelations 12:9. And the great dragon was hurled down, the ancient serpent, the devil, and Satan, who leads the whole world astray. He was hurled to the earth, and his angels with him.
You mean to tell me that the part in Revelations that's talking about actually happened back when Jesus said,
now is the time for judgment of this world, and the prince of this world was driven out? Yep.
Wow. I haven't heard that in church. No.
Dude, this stuff is so crazy.
It is crazy. It's crazy, but it's true.
And here's Paul over in Acts. For he has set a day when he will judge the world. Oh, he already did. He said, now is the time for judgment on this world.
What does Paul not get by the word now?
Now.
We break down words a lot on this channel, but I'm going to tell you what, there's not much to break down with the word now.
This is why Paul didn't understand a flipping thing.
Mm-hmm.
He says, for he has set a day when he will judge the world with justice by the man he has appointed. He has given proof of this to everyone by raising him from the dead. Wrong, Paul. The judgment's already happened.
Yeah.
Look what happens here. When they heard about the resurrection of the dead, some of them sneered, but others said, we want to hear you again on this subject. You know why some of them sneered? Do you know why, John?
They wasn't in the kingdom.
No. These are the people sneering at Paul.
Oh, at Paul. Right on. I thought we were back talking about Jesus.
No, this is Paul. This is Paul. Acts 17:32. When they had heard about the resurrection of the dead, some of them sneered, But others said, we want to hear more on this subject.
Mm-hmm.
Why did some of them sneer? Anybody ask that? Oh, it's probably because of what we're getting ready to read here in John 5:23 and the verses to come. That all may honor the Son just as they honor the Father. Whoever does not honor the Son does not honor the Father who sent him.
Mm-hmm.
Very truly I tell you, whoever hears my words and believes them, believes him who sent me has eternal life and will not be judged, but has crossed over. What did they do, John?
Crossed over.
They took up their cross and went over from death to life.
Yep.
That's the crossing that you're supposed to do, going from death to life. How do you do that? By believing his words,
Yep.
hearing
dying
them,
to this,
believing them.
Dying to this soul and entering the kingdom, just like he talked about.
And believing the one who sent him.
That's right.
And you have eternal life, and you will not be judged.
Mm-hmm. Because you won't be judging yourself anymore. You'll know the truth. Mm-hmm.
Very truly I tell you, a time is coming, and has now come, when the dead will hear the voice of the Son of God, and those who hear will live. That's referring to people who are still alive, those dead people.
Mm-hmm.
But some people believe that means people just are dead. They don't hear nothing.
No.
Really?
The people that are dead and they're in the soul still.
We're getting there, Johnny. We're getting there.
Yeah. No, you're good.
For as the Father has life in him, the Father has his own life in him, in himself. Yep. So he has granted the Son, that would be you and me, John, and anybody else in the kingdom, also to have life in him, within the Son. The Son has his own life.
Yep. All separate.
And he has given him the authority to judge. Ooh, we're the judges. Just like Jesus told us, we were the judges. What we judge will be forgiven if we forgive, and what we judged and don't forgive won't be forgiven.
Won't be forgiven. Told the disciples, that's right.
But don't be amazed at this. For time is coming when all who are in their graves will hear his voice. Who's going to hear his voice, John? Oh, the people who are dead in the grave, but they're sleeping. Their soul is within their body, sleeping.
Sleeping. That's right.
Now, when did he say this was going to happen? At the judgment.
The time is coming, yeah.
Everybody says it's at the judgment. Well, guess what? Now is the time for judgment on this world.
There's that word now again.
Now was the judgment. When Jesus was here, that was the judgment of the cosmos. So back over here to John 5:28. Do not be amazed at this, for a time is coming. He just told you a few minutes ago, a time is coming and is now. Later, he tells you now is the judgment. So this time he's referring to is now. When all who are in the graves will hear his voice. Well, I thought they were supposed to be with Jesus when they died. Nope. What happens if some of the body is present with the Lord? Nope, because you're not freed from the body.
Yeah.
Your soul's attached to it. And come out those who have done what is good will rise to life. And those who have done what is evil will rise to be condemned. They're already condemned. Imagine that.
Already condemned. Yeah.
But let's take a closer look at this version over here where I have the mouse. And come out those who have done good to the resurrection of life. What's the resurrection? Standing up, a resurrection, a rising up, a rising again.
Did you rise again, Josh?
I did.
That's right.
It also means a standing up again.
Mm-hmm.
A physical resurrection of the body. I wonder what that means. And those who have done evil to the resurrection or the standing up again of judgment or a decision. They're going to stand up to make a decision again.
Mm-hmm.
How many times are they going to stand up?
As many as it takes.
Again. And again.
Mm-hmm.
And again.
If you don't find the truth, if you don't find the kingdom now, coming right back here.
Because this is the place of the judgment.
Yep.
So if you rise again to judgment, where is your place going to be? Well, it's going to be the place where you're judged or have to make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
What place is that? Oh, it's right here. This is where you're supposed to make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
And notice that the resurrection, physical resurrection of the body. That's interesting, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be raised again in another body to make a decision again.
And then are you going to find truth? Are you going to believe finally?
I don't know. Are they?
How many times will it take?
How many times?
How many times will a couple fat guys be on a podcast
telling you the same thing?
The kingdom of God the kingdom of God is at hand.
How many deja vus in your life are you going to experience?
Right?
Before you get it.
Mm-hmm. I'm not coming back. I'm not standing again. Nope, ain't having it. I'm done with this place, dude. I'm gonna be gone. I'm going to the Father, just like Jesus said. "It's your hands I commit my spirit." That's the words that are going to be coming out of my mouth when I'm ready to leave this place.
And the others, they get resurrected. They stand again to life.
Yep.
Which is both physical and spiritual existence.
Mm-hmm.
That's the new body that you're given when you leave this existence.
That's right.
What else we got here? By myself I can do nothing. I judge only as I hear, and my judgment is just, for I seek not to please myself, but him who sent me. There was there was another verse. I'm gonna have to find it. The one.
Well, real quick while you're looking.
Go ahead.
Since the people that aren't in the kingdom are condemned by their self, they've already been judged. When me and Josh are on here and we're speaking our truths, the things the Father has showed us, we were talking earlier, like, we're trying to file an appeal for you, right? You've already judged yourself. You've already condemned yourself by not wanting to walk into the light because you're fearful of the deeds that you have done are evil.
And look.
And we're trying to throw out an appeal for you.
Look. We forgive you.
Yep.
Plain and simple. We forgive you. Question is, can you forgive yourself? Your sins are forgiven.
That's right.
Can you forgive yourself? Can you get over the things that you've done? No matter what it is.
The things that you think you've done. The word says that it's not what's outside of you that defiles you, it's what's in your heart.
Yeah,
it's what you believe you did wrong.
It's what you believe, yes.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. They believe they have. So look, I'm telling them, you're forgiven.
That's right.
Just want to let you know, Jesus told the Pharisees they had never sinned until they rejected the truth.
Yeah.
They had never sinned, ever.
Until they decided to believe Moses.
Until they decided to reject what Jesus was telling them.
Yep, because when there was no law, there was no sin in the first place.
And the only people keeping the law is you.
Mm-hmm.
In here, in your mind, you're keeping a law. And that law judges you because it's your law. Stop believing it. Come into love, the kingdom. No truth.
Know the freedom. Yeah.
Yeah, freedom. You can't even explain the freedom and peace you have within this kingdom. Can't explain it. It's impossible. You cannot put it into words.
And we understand this, and we see that it's impossible to, because when we talk to pastors, and they don't understand. They think that the freedom we're talking about is that we can go out, raise hell,
and it's
sleep
okay.
with tons of people, and do all kind of hedonistic things.
Right, because that's what's in their heart to do, but they don't do it because they're scared and they're fearful.
We're saying that we have freedom to not be under the rules of Yahweh, the rules of men, of rules at all, other than love your neighbor, love yourself, and love the Father, which is love, right?
Man, I can't find that verse, man. Let me see. Let me try to look it up real quick.
Mm-hmm. So while he's looking that up, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you're receiving something from the videos and the things we talk about, make sure to share it with somebody else that hopefully they can hear something that resonates in their spirit and they can receive truth as well.
So how long is this going to go on? How long are you going to keep coming back to this place? Well, in John 12:32, after it says, now is the time of judgment on this world, and the prince of this world is driven out, and I am lifted up from the earth, will draw all people to myself.
Right.
How many people?
All is the word.
All. That might be hard for some people to understand what that is actually saying. I'll let them figure it out.
Yeah. All.
Yep. All.
What's all mean, everybody? What's all mean?
Well,
what in the sense of what we're talking about, what's that mean if all will be drawn to him?
Well, let's put it this way.
All will be drawn to truth. What's the repercussions of that statement?
Okay, so I enlarged this a little bit so people can see it a little easier. Make it a little bit larger. Let's see here. There we go. And when I am lifted up from the earth, I will draw all people to myself. Let's look at the word draw. I drag, draw, pull, persuade.
Mm-hmm.
Properly induce, draw in, focusing on the attraction power involved with the drawing.
Oh, God.
All people are going to be pulled in to him.
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't Jesus, people. This was what was inside of him. The Father,
Yep.
love.
Father in him.
The Son.
Right.
The divine nature of him. All will be drawn to him. Eventually. All.
How long that takes is up to you.
Is up to you, but all will.
Yeah. Quit condemning yourself. Come in the kingdom now. This time right here is your chance. Your chance. If you're hearing this, receive it. Awaken the spirit of love within you. Die to this soul and this whole place. Enter the kingdom. You don't have to worry about waiting around.
That is a pretty profound statement.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else you want to go over, John?
Man, this seems like a really cut and dry message. I just encourage everybody to take the scriptures that they've heard in the cast tonight and look into it. Seek the kingdom and what the truth in the kingdom is showing you about it. And you'll be able to come up with the conclusion that you need. Because your truth is in you. This is the truth that we see. This is the truth that we're speaking, that the Father gave us, that is coming forth from within us. Your truth is in you. Find your truth. Find love into the kingdom. Anything else for you, Josh?
No. I'm good. I'm good if you are.
I'm good. Like I said before, anytime you comment, we'll try to make sure that we shout you out. Put your questions in the comments or in the email, which is lastawakeningwarriors@gmail.com. And we'll discuss it on air or off air. It's up to you. If you don't want it discussed on air, then make sure to put that in your comment or in the email. Make sure to share the videos, get the word out, and be blessed, be a blessing to somebody else.
And as always, do the will of the Father within you. I am your host, Joshua David.
I'm Johnny Walker.
And we are the Last Awakening Warriors.
Unlocking the secrets of the universe.
Welcome to the Last Awakening podcast.
Oh no, I think I've lost my mind. I think I've lost it all. Oh no, I think I've lost my mind. I think I've lost control. Welcome to the awakening.
I forgot to say this is the best one we've had yet.
You just did.
Oh, well.